Let's cross live now to Tokyo, where U.S. Vice President Mike Pence is speaking to reporters. Let's listen in.
I bring greetings from the President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. And earlier today, on the President's behalf, I had the honor to meet with Prime Minister Abe to reaffirm the abiding friendship and the enduring alliance between Japan and the United States. The United States-Japan alliance is the cornerstone of peace, prosperity, and freedom in the Asia-Pacific. And under President Trump, America is committed to strengthening our alliance and deepening our friendship for the benefit of our people and for the benefit of the world. Already, our bond is growing stronger. Prime Minister Abe was one of the very first world leaders who President Trump hosted at the White House. They continued their meeting at the Southern White House, and I can attest personally that they have forged a good personal relationship, which is already benefiting both of our nations. Their relationship truly demonstrates the extraordinary respect that President Trump has for our critically important ally, Japan. Today, as we have for more than half a century, the United States and Japan stand united in defense of democracy and the rule of law, not only in this region, but all across the world. Tomorrow, I will speak from the deck of the USS Ronald Reagan at Yokosuka Naval Base, a tangible sign of our unity with Japan and the United States' unyielding commitment to peace and security in the Asia-Pacific. Under President Trump, the United States will continue to work with Japan and with all our allies in the region, including South Korea, to confront the most ominous threat posing this region of the world, the regime in North Korea. And let me be clear, our commitment is unwavering, and our resolve could not be stronger. As President Trump told Prime Minister Abe at the Southern White House, so I say on his behalf today to all the people of Japan, in these challenging times, we are with you 100%. In the face of provocations across the Sea of Japan, the people of this country should know that we stand with you in the defense of your security and prosperity, now and always. Now, the United States will continue to work with Japan, our allies across the region, and China to bring economic and diplomatic pressure to bear until North Korea abandons its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. But all options are on the table. Nevertheless, President Trump and I have great confidence that together with Japan and our allies in the region, we will protect the peace and security of this part of the world and achieve our shared goal of a nuclear-free Korean peninsula. Now, security is the foundation of our prosperity, but promoting prosperity is actually the main reason that I had the privilege of meeting today with your Deputy Prime Minister. At the direction of President Trump and Prime Minister Abe, today, Deputy Prime Minister Aso and I have the great privilege to formally launch the U.S.-Japan Economic Dialogue. This dialogue presents the United States and Japan with an opportunity to deepen our bilateral economic ties and to foster jobs, prosperity, and growth on both sides of the Atlantic. We're building on a strong foundation, but as the Prime Minister said, our economies have been intertwined for generations, and this is a new day and a new chapter in relations between the United States and Japan. Every day, though, our nations already exchange goods and services that improve people's lives and help businesses on both sides of the Pacific succeed. Japan is the United States' fourth largest goods trading partner and our fourth largest goods export market. And Japan is one of America's leading investors. Japanese foreign direct investment in the United States now totals more than $400 billion, the second most of any nation. You know, I saw that firsthand back in my old job when I was governor of Indiana, how trade and investment between our countries can be beneficial to us all. In 2013, and again in 2015, I led a group of Indiana businesses and community leaders here to Japan to foster closer economic ties, create jobs, and spur opportunity and growth. Today, the U.S.-Japan Economic Dialogue seeks the very same objectives for both of our countries in full. It signifies President Trump's commitment to strengthening our economic relationship with Japan using a bilateral approach. Today's meeting with Deputy Prime Minister Aso was an opportunity for us to broadly discuss how we view the dialogue structure and goals. The Prime Minister and I agreed that the dialogue will focus on three key policy pillars, as he just discussed. The first is a, quote, common strategy on trade and investment rules and issues. Under President Trump's leadership, the United States seeks stronger and more balanced bilateral trade relationships with every country, including Japan. Our goal is simple. We seek trade that is free, and we seek trade that is fair. This requires breaking down barriers, leveling the playing field so that American companies and exporters can enjoy high levels of market access. The second pillar involves economic and structural policies with a specific focus on fiscal and monetary issues. President Trump believes that both the United States and Japan can enact pro-growth and fiscally sustainable monetary and budgetary policies, a key to both of our long-term economic success. The final pillar is what we call sectoral cooperation. The President and I are confident that we can find new ways to expand our economic ties with Japan in different sectors and different industries. American and Japanese businesses have much to offer each other. By working together, we can ensure that our two nations' economic leadership grows even stronger in the years ahead to the benefit of all of our people. This is an important day for the partnership between the United States and Japan, and I'm deeply humbled to be a part of it. The U.S.-Japan Economic Dialogue will provide us with a new forum to address the economic issues that are crucial to our long-term success. The relevant U.S. agencies, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Treasury, and the U.S. Trade Representative's Office will lead discussions for each of these three pillars.
We've been listening to U.S. Vice President Mike Pence speak live there in Tokyo, where he formally launched the U.S.-Japan Economic Dialogue with the Japanese Deputy Prime Minister Taro Aso, though he did start this press conference with a statement about security in the region. And he says that the allies of the United States and Asia are united in defense of democracy and the rule of law, and that the U.S. will work with its allies to confront the most ominous threat in the world, which he said then was, of course, North Korea. And he said to the people of Japan, we are with you 100%. All options are on the table, but we're confident that we will be protecting peace and stability in the region. Let's cross live now to Mayu Yoshida, who can join us from Tokyo. Hi, Mayu. One of the things Pence said is that this really marks a new chapter in the U.S.-Japan relationship. How so?
Well, Pence just said they are with their alliance 100%. While Tokyo also said that it's on the U.S. side to put more pressure on North Korea, given its recent actions. So in terms of security, I think they have entered a new phase. Now, this morning, Pence made a surprise statement in Seoul by saying that Washington has run out of its patience regarding North Korea's recent missile launches. And some experts believe that he hinted at military actions in North Korea. Now, the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe also agreed with Washington's stance during his lunch meeting with Pence, and that added that this is raising tensions over the Korean Peninsula. Now, during the working lunch between Abe and Pence, they agreed that China should play a larger role in pressuring North Korea. However, actually, a recent move by Japan and the U.S. may have upset China, because earlier this month, Japan held military drills with the American fleet as it entered the East China Sea. But there's territorial dispute between Japan and China in the area. There's a group of islands called Senkaku in Japan and Diaoyu in China there, which two countries are claiming rights. So any kind of military activity by the Japanese and the U.S. together could lead to a trouble down the line in Beijing. So if China makes some noise, it could lead to a halt of China reducing pressure on North Korea over the missile program. Now, as you may know, Pyongyang has released some missiles pointing to the direction of Japan, so many are still very concerned about the rising tensions over the Korean Peninsula.
So, Mayu, aside from these security issues, though, this specific press conference was about the U.S.-Japan economic dialogue and its three pillars toward building free and fair trade. What does this all entail?
Well, I guess the biggest takeaway is that the Japan and the U.S. agreed to combat unfair trade practices, and also it was good that Pence mentioned about Japan's contribution to the U.S. market, especially during his tenure as Indiana governor, where Indiana holds about 260 Japanese companies, and they do hire local staffs and open plants, and they do have a big play in the local economy there. And actually, the bigger focus in Japan was on trade and investment in Japan rather than a North Korean issue. And as widely expected, though, the two didn't go into details at this meeting, mainly because Tokyo wanted to avoid open disputes with the Trump administration over a weaker yen and the imbalance in auto trade or protection of Japan's agriculture. So they haven't got really far regarding U.S.-Japan trade policies. The dialogue in Tokyo was the first economic dialogue between Japan and the Trump administration, so it ended in peace as they were meant to forge a framework for future discussions. So we might see further detailed strategies, including talks over sensitive areas of auto and agriculture at the next dialogue. Keep in mind that it is very important for Washington to boost trade in the Asian region, especially after President Trump killed the 10-nation Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Pact shortly after he took office.
Okay, Mayu, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for that. Live from Tokyo.